I really do think that 3D printing is one of the best tools we have in addressing the housing crisis in a way that's not going to exacerbate the climate crisis.
So I'm here today with Mighty Buildings co-founder and chief sustainability officer, Sam Rubin. And we first chatted back in October when your partnership with Polari Group was still in the works. But just last month, it was officially announced that you'll be 3D printing the entire community of net zero energy homes. And that's the first of its kind. So can you tell us more about this project?
Yeah, so we're really, really excited. We've got a great partner in the Polari Group. They're an awesome developer builder down in based out of Southern California that shares our ethos for sustainable homes and healthy living. And so these projects, it's awesome. So the initial phase is going to be 15 units plus ADUs. So they'll have solar, they'll have battery backup with Tesla battery walls. We'll also be incorporating the Delos Darwin system, which provides a smart, healthy home system with circadian lighting, provides improved air quality, all sorts of really awesome features to really unlock the possibilities. And a lot of them are going to have pools, and it's just going to be wonderful. And I mean, and being in the heart of Coachella Valley and like the kind of the home of modernism in America, like our design fits so well, having been designed by EYRC Architects, one of the country's leading modern design firms, and then also have it with Burl Happold helping to do the engineering. So really, really excited about it. It's our first step into what we've always kind of planned on going into, which is working with developers and builders to deploy units at scale. Because as much as we love seeing the smile on a homeowner's face when we hand them the keys to the ADU or home, we can only have so much impact working directly with homeowners. But working with developers and be able to do them 30, 50, 100, 1,000 at a time, that's where we really start impacting the housing supply and doing so in a way that's going to mitigate the impacts on climate change. So this design from EYRC utilizes what's called our Mighty Kit system, which is a new panelized system that allows us to deploy to sites that our modules might not be able to serve, but also allowing us to introduce new floor plans, new designs. So we've actually developed a Revit plugin that has a library to allow us to make custom floor plans with this kit system. And really then in the future, the idea is that this will have additional designs with the Mighty Kit system and custom panels to meet the needs of various developers and builders into various areas. Because obviously Coachella Valley, modernism's huge. You go up to Carmel, Monterey, you've got the Carmel cottage style. You go to Santa Barbara and you've got there like more of kind of that Spanish style. And so it's really, each community has their own unique design. And so where we're going is to have the ability to deliver aesthetics that match those. We're also incorporating things along with solar and battery storage, rainwater catchment, laundry to landscape opportunities for basic gray water systems, because obviously water is a huge issue right now as well. So we're also doing it with zero waste. So right now we're able to produce units with diverting 95% of the waste, so eliminating the majority of the 3 to 5 pounds per square foot that would go to landfill. So that means we're saving, with just the waste we're not creating, about 2 tons of carbon per unit. And when you account for the zero net energy impacts, here in California, where our energy requirements are pretty high, and where we also have a pretty clean grid, we're still able to capture about 400 kilograms of carbon and capture savings of about 400 kilograms of carbon each month, which equates to about $115 per month in savings.
And so what's the feedback been so far when this was announced just, a little less than a month ago to now?
We've seen an incredible spike in interest from developers from across the country, across the world. I believe they took deposits on all the units in like less than a week, if my memory serves. And the plan is also to have a series of these communities around the state, of which they also have already received significant interest. So we're really excited about both this initial deployment and then what the future holds for this particular product line.
I want to know a little bit more about the location that you chose and kind of how the decisions went into that. So obviously you were speaking about how, modern architecture is really welcomed in this area, and that's wonderful. And you also mentioned that in California, and especially right in this location, your energy usage and needs of the home are pretty high when it comes to, water, air conditioning. So can you talk to us a little bit about how those factors went into your decision process?
Yeah, so the location itself was actually chosen by Polari. And so one of the things that we're really excited about is, along with what we're doing, working directly with homeowners, is this opportunity to provide production as a service for developers and builders. And so kind of for us, it's not as important, like we're happy to build wherever the need is. With these units in particular, we are able to make them incredibly energy efficient. The panels that we're using for these are about an R25, so well above California code and even more efficient than what we're currently using in our Mighty Mods, which are our initial product. Additionally, these will be the first to use our new fiber reinforced material, which allows us to increase strength while reducing the material usage. And when it comes to the water usage, it's relatively minimal, and both water and energy, we work very hard to make sure that when we're selecting all the fixtures and all the appliances and everything, that we're choosing ones that are high efficiency and that really align with our values as a company that's dedicated to sustainability.
You're bringing that service to the developers, and ultimately they're the ones that really have their hands in there, right?
Exactly. It's our goal to be a tool for them to build more and to build better and to build faster and to build in a way that just allows us to address the housing crisis with productivity that just doesn't exist yet.
That's actually something I also wanted to know was about, permits and codes and how you're kind of handling that situation since this is so new. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Certainly. So currently we're operating under the alternative means and methods portion of the building code, which allows you to basically build anything you want with any type of material as long as a building official says yes. So a lot of that is building out having our UL certification, having ICC ES report that we're working on, and really make it easy for them to understand that code compliance. That's going to change pretty soon, because one of the things we've done with UL is, as a part of creating our initial evaluation report with them, they actually created UL 3401, which is the world's first standard for 3D printed construction. And it has been added as a appendix AW, I believe, to the 2021 International Residential Code update, which will be published I believe January 1st, 2022, at which point and the IRC serves and the IBC serves as the basis for the building code for many countries, many municipalities, many jurisdictions. And so with that appendix, it means they're actually going to have the choice to take that appendix and plug it directly into their building code. And even those that don't formally adopt it will be able to look to that appendix as guidance for how to evaluate 3D printed construction.
We also talked about this back in October about how the 3D printing, it can really help address the housing crisis and the affordability crisis. That's a big part of it, right? There's a really low inventory of affordable housing. But in terms of this community, the units actually start at $595.
Yeah, so these units are not affordable housing. These are more, and frankly, the cost speaks to the nature of the California market. But what we're really looking to do here initially is focus on the missing middle. So your people who make too much to qualify for subsidized housing, because obviously affordable housing has technical definitions, whether I think up to 80% of the average median income, and then middle income is like 80 to 120% AMI. But you also have people who make, and again, this is because of how crazy housing costs are here in California, but you can make more than 120% of the average median income and not be able to afford housing in community. So with units like this, yes, even though they sound really expensive for like 600, under like 500 some odd thousand for one house, about 900,000 or so for a house plus an ADU, that ADU creates an opportunity for rental income and for rental opportunities and it creates density in a way that up until changes in state law by the last couple of years really hasn't been possible. And so we're really looking at the teachers, the firefighters, these people who work and serve communities, but more and more can't afford to live in those communities. So that's where we are right now. But within the future, with this new fiber reinforced material, one of the things that we're looking to move into is multifamily. So both be able to do like 2-3-story townhouses, but then also 3 to 6 story multifamily apartments, which is really kind of a sweet spot for affordable housing, particularly here in California, in most suburban urban areas. And it's important to understand in California, let me put it this way, in San Francisco proper, a single unit of affordable housing costs $1 million. In the Bay more broadly, it costs $750,000. For the state of California, on average, it's about $500,000 for a single unit of affordable housing. So yes, technically that's market rate at about 500 some odd thousand, but that's really actually about the same as an affordable one unit. And this would be technically 3 because it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Because right now we can do about 300 units a year. Moving to an industrialization phase, that's going to allow us to do 1,000 units a year. So about 1.2 million square feet of production out of 50,000 square feet of production space. At that point, that's really going to unlock the opportunity to get housing out very rapidly in a way that's really going to hopefully begin to make a dent in that, particularly as we're doing that multifamily, in addition to the single family and ADUs that we're doing currently.
This really shows the rest of the world what you've got. And what more do you think Mighty Buildings needs to do before the home building industry is looking at this concept and really taking it as seriously as maybe they should?
Even just with the announcement of this, we've already started to see increase in inbound interest from developers and builders. That's why I was actually slightly late, because I was coming from a meeting that we're just having with one. But I do think particularly once these are on the ground, that's going to unlock a lot of the interest that's kind of there. Like we've had some of the bigger builders kind of circling us for a while and kind of looking at this technology as well as other advanced construction technologies that provide opportunities for quality, for faster delivery times. None quite doing it the way we are, obviously, and don't quite have the same versatility and opportunities that we create. But there's a recognized need in the industry, and there's real interest and once these are on the ground, that's going to unlock a lot of that. Additionally, there's some really cool efforts going more broadly. So I'm not sure if you've heard of the Advanced Building Construction Collaborative that's going was either recently announced or will be announced. But it's a project that's bringing together the Rocky Mountain Institute, the Department of Energy, and other stakeholders to really jumpstart the American offsite construction industry and advanced building industry, and it's similar to what was done for the silicon wafer industry back in the 90s. Because we're seeing, you've seen some of these hotels are being built in New York or in California, and they're using modules from Poland or modules from China. And so, with what we're seeing now, particularly with some of the impacts to global trade from COVID, as well as the blocking of the Suez Canal, that's just not as viable anymore. And even if it was, the carbon costs of shipping it, and there's a lot of costs, both carbon and monetary, that are associated with that. That if we had a robust industry here in the United States, which we have an opportunity for, and we have people who are excited to do, and to do so in a way that's sustainable, I think the future is really, really bright in that regard.